This is Democracy Now!, democracynow.org, the War and Peace Report. I'm Amy Goodman. We're talking to Julian Assange, who has taken refuge, got political asylum in the Ecuadorean embassy in London for the last 5.5 years, has lived in this tiny embassy in London. Julian, talk about the status of your case. In fact, you were holed up there so that you wouldn't be extradited to Sweden, fearing then you'd be extradited to the United States. But Sweden has dropped its case against you.
Yeah, of course. It never had a case. It was never charged. It was a, quote, preliminary investigation, which had been reopened, which had already been closed. So, but the United States continues its grand jury formally. That's expanded it now to include our CIA publications, and Trump CIA Director Pompeo and the DOJ has been, at least in their statements, and we know from some internal matters, pursuing that aggressively.
Why do they want you here in the United States? And what role is Britain playing right now? I mean, they don't have to respond. There is not a known arrest warrant for you.
Well, the UK says they refuse to confirm or deny whether they have already received a sealed extradition order, and the US says that they refuse to confirm or deny whether they've already issued one.
I want to turn to Mike Pompeo. In his first public address as CIA director, he was speaking at a Washington, D.C. think tank earlier this year, blasted WikiLeaks as a hostile intelligence service in a stark reversal from his previous praise for WikiLeaks. This is what he said.
It's time to call out WikiLeaks for what it really is: a non-state hostile intelligence service often abetted by state actors like Russia. In reality, they champion nothing but their own celebrity. Their currency is clickbait, their moral compass non-existent, their mission, personal self-aggrandizement through destruction of Western values.
Mike Pompeo, CIA director, his first major address as CIA director, takes on WikiLeaks, and you, Julian, your response?
Well, it's a bit flattering, isn't it? I mean, he's saying that essentially that we're a non-state intelligence agency. Those are his words, which of course is completely absurd. Look, the media organizations cultivate sources, protect their identities if they're doing their job well, and publish their material. The Central Intelligence Agency collects information for a different reason, to exploit it for interstate power, its own power, and then doesn't publish it. So the intentionality in obtaining information is to publish it in the case of a media organization, and then it is published, hopefully. It is with WikiLeaks. And the intelligence agencies collect information with a different intentionality, and they don't publish. So it's absurd. I think it's kind of funny. It comes from our incredible CIA publications, our ongoing series called Vault 7. Now, it's very, very rare that a current CIA documents are released in full. In fact, I'm not aware of it ever having occurred, at least in the last decade, except for our publications. Publications prior to this year, that we've done a few, and this year as well. So it's deeply humiliating for the CIA in front of other intelligence agencies that it has to deal with, and with the FBI, to be perceived as incompetent in that way. Which it is dangerous.
Were you surprised to hear the Trump administration attacking you? This is Pompeo. Now, of course, Trump also attacks his own people and has different points of view on issues like Rex Tillerson, who he's supposedly having lunch with, who supposedly called him a moron. At least he said at least Tillerson did not deny that he had done this. So do you think that Pompeo and Trump disagree? Trump talked about loving WikiLeaks when he was on the campaign trail, as he was talking about calling for the release of email.
Well, everyone loves WikiLeaks when we're publishing information about those that they politically oppose. That's inevitable. And when we start publishing information about, Trump's CIA, of course, the attitude changes.
Do you understand if there is still a grand jury open that is weighing your case in the United States? And for people who haven't followed the case for 5.5 years, with you being inside the embassy, what you understand is an arrest warrant, or what you understand is out there as a result of a grand jury, a secret grand jury?
The US government and the UK government behave as if there is a sealed indictment in terms of their refusal to talk about it, their interactions with our lawyers, and so on. So they either have one or they have a virtual one.
Do you see yourself?
The grand jury has been expanded now from our war crimes publications about Iraq and Afghanistan, the ones that are alleged to have been associated with Chelsea Manning, to now include the CIA publications.